If your team made the playoffs, all I want you to do is take a second down in those comments and spam me. You guys deserve it. NFL fans out there, you guys are the best fans in all of sports. So if your team made the playoffs, I want you to go ahead and spam me down in the comments. Mitchell Renz from Chat Sports. Coming up here on today's show is our AFC, playoff picture. We're going to be looking at all the teams that ended up making the playoffs here in the AFC. And I don't know if you can tell, I don't have a voice because of the amount of cheering on that I've done the entire day today. And if you love the NFL, today was probably one of the most entertaining days that I have ever seen on a simple Sunday afternoon. Now, the game that just ended up finishing. The Raiders take down the Los Angeles Chargers Week 18 on Sunday Night Football. I mean, this was just an unbelievable game from top to bottom. I don't know about you. I know there's a lot of Steelers fans out there. Steelers fans, type Steelers down in the comments. I was like, oh shit, this game might actually end in a tie where both of these teams end up making the playoffs, and then the Steelers, they would be out. But Daniel Carlson, the kicker of the Raiders, ended up banging through a game-winning field goal. Raiders make the playoffs for the first time since 2016. So here's what the AFC playoff picture looks like right now. The Titans, they're the number one seed. They get the first round bye. Chargers, they're going to be going up against the Steelers. Bills up against the Patriots. Bengals up against the Las Vegas Raiders. Well, what about the NFC? Now, you guys can see the NFC playoff picture right now, but my guy Harrison Graham, he actually made a video a little bit earlier on today's Chat Sports channel. So if you want to see all the matchups, all the times, and everything in a little bit more depth, go ahead. Another reason to subscribe, another reason to turn on those notifications. Check out that video, youtube.com/ChatSportsTV. So make your picks. Which team will win the AFC? You know that the Titans have the first round bye, and major kudos to them because they didn't have Derrick Henry. They're about to get back the best damn running back in the National Football League. What about the Chiefs? They're playing well. The Bengals, they're playing pretty well too. They just took down Kansas City. So make your picks. Which team will end up winning the AFC? This is going to be the pinned comment of today's show, so go down, scroll on down. Let me know. Best team in the AFC. Let's talk about the number one seed now, the Tennessee Titans, who they clinched the number one seed where they win over the Texans in. It's kind of an interesting game, I'm not going to lie to you. Now, they are going to have the only bye week here in the AFC, but the fact that they're going to be able to get Derrick Henry back, I've never played in the NFL. I know, shocking. However, the idea of trying to tackle Henry and slow down how physical the Titans are on offense, good luck. Mike Vrabel's done a phenomenal job, and that's going to be a very difficult team to try to go ahead and take down. Now, they won today 28-25, and this game looks a lot closer than what it was. Not that it wasn't 100% close, but the fact that the Titans were able to take down the Texans, the team that actually beat them earlier on in the season, major kudos again to Tannehill, to Foreman, who's been running the ball, I think, very effectively for this team. And again, the number one seed in the AFC as it stands right now. So who loves the NFL? If you watch today's games and you don't come away being just like, dude, I love the National Football League, then shame on you. Who thought that the Steelers would get into the playoffs? Nobody did. Nobody thought that the Colts were going to lose to the Jags. But if you want news, rumors, if you just found out for the first time that the Jags beat the Colts today and they're not in the playoffs, then you definitely need to subscribe to this channel right here at Chat Sports. We are over 275,000 subs. I want to get to 300,000. So to get news, rumors, videos every single day, hit that big red button. Or if you are sub, take the link that you see below, send it to a friend, send it to a colleague. If you see some random person they have a phone, send it to them. I don't care. I want to get to 300K. So let's look at some of these wild card games now. You got the Pittsburgh Steelers on the road in Kansas City. This game is on Sunday, January 16th at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time. NBC is going to be playing the game. Now, the Steelers, they're 9-7-1. They took care of business up against the Baltimore Ravens. And they got the Kansas City Chiefs at 12-5. I really thought that they were going to be the number one seed. However, when you look at the last 5 games, it's this game right here. The Cincinnati Bengals, they lost that game 34-31. Joe Burrow was phenomenal in that football game, and because of that, they lost, and they are not the number 1 seed. But I will go ahead and say this. The last team that I would want to play right now is Kansas City. But when you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers, they were able to get in, and it was not really a pretty picture. This was just an old-fashioned AFC North type of game. It was raining. The offenses stunk. The defenses showed up. But even though Pittsburgh won this game, they needed the Colts to lose. The Colts lost. The Raiders beat the Chargers. So, therefore, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they are in the playoffs. So what I want you guys to do is, this is what Chat Sports is all about, being interactive. Because I don't know about you, I love talking sports to people. If I see some random guy and they're wearing a Steelers shirt, they're wearing a Chiefs shirt, I'm going to be like, hey, who you got? So you guys let me know who you got. Type PIT for the Pittsburgh Steelers, or I want you to go ahead and type KC for the Kansas City Chiefs. Let's keep this thing moving here, and the Bills up against the New England Patriots. So New England, they have to travel to Buffalo. So Buffalo, they ended up winning the AFC East. The Patriots, they ended up losing today against the Miami Dolphins. And this is going to be a very interesting game because New England has already beaten Buffalo once, but the Bills have already gone ahead and they beat the New England Patriots once. So when you see this game here, it's 14-10. You all remember this game? It was like 50-mile-an-hour winds. This is the game that Mac Jones was 2 or 3 for 19 yards. They came away with a W. I would be shocked. I'm not a weatherman, but I would be shocked if the weather was similar. What I would anticipate is a game very similar to what you saw here, where the Bills, Josh Allen, were able to move the football down the field. He was 30 for 47, 314 yards, 3 touchdowns in this game. Even Devin Singletary, he's really turned it on near the end of this season. Buffalo Bills up against the New England Patriots, 4 against the 5 seed. So, what I want to know, y'all, who you got? It's actually the 3 against 6 seed, excuse me. NE for the Patriots or BUF for the Buffalo Bills. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to spam BUF because I really think the Bills from top to bottom are a better football team. Now, I don't know about y'all. I love betting on NFL games. And maybe you're somebody out there in the beginning of the show and I was like, hey, type me if your team got in. If you're like, oh, man, I can't type me. Well, guess what? If you put just $5 down on a game, $10, $20 down on a game, you're going to be really interested in that game. That I can guarantee you. So if you guys want to go ahead and put your money where your mouth is on all the NFL playoff games, go to chatsports.com/bet. Use promo code NFL Daily. You're going to get a 125% deposit bonus. So if you put down $100, you're going to get $125 for free. If you want to bet on which team is going to win the Super Bowl, right now the best odds, Green Bay Packers at plus 375, Chiefs plus 450, Bucks 700, Bills 850, Rams plus 1,000 odds. So if you want to bet on your favorite team that's in the playoffs that you don't see featured here, guess where you got to go? Chatsports.com/bet. Promo code NFL Daily, 125% deposit bonus. For those of you who don't understand how great of a deal that is, not only is it the best deal on the internet, but imagine a world where you buy a pizza, get a free pizza, and then you get an extra 2 slices for free. That's how good of a deal we got. I know, it's amazing. What about the final game here? The Raiders, they took care of business up against the Los Angeles Chargers on Sunday Night Football. They're going to be taking on Cincinnati Bengals on the road. This game Saturday, January 15th at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time on NBC. Now, for those of you that don't know, the Bengals, they already beat the Raiders once this year, 32-13. However, that game was a lot closer than the score indicated. The Bengals scored 19 points in the fourth quarter when the defense was just absolutely gassed. In terms of Joe Burrow, his last 2 games. Now, remember, Burrow did not play in the final week of the season. But in his last 2 games, last time I checked, this is pretty impressive to me. 78.8% completion percentage, 971 yards, 8 touchdowns, no interceptions. If the Raiders want to beat the Bengals, they need to slow down Joey B. They need to be able to get some pressure. So you need Ngakoue, Max Crosby. I'm looking at you. In terms of the Raiders' last 5 games, I'm a big-time Raider fan. I didn't give them a chance in hell. After they lost that 48-9 game to the Chiefs, I'm like, all right, they're done. Pack it up. It's going to be good to go. But they won their final 4 games. They beat the Browns. They beat the Broncos. Sure, those teams had a lot of COVID issues, but they won. They beat a tough Colts team at the time. And then he took care of business up against the Chargers in overtime. Daniel Carlson's 5th game-winning field goal of the season. I mean, is there a better team in overtime this year than the Raiders? I don't think so, personally. That's all I got to say. 4 wins this season in overtime. Think about that for a second. So who you got? Type LV for the Raiders or CIN for the Cincinnati Bengals. there's no doubt that the Bengals would be the favorites in this game, which they should be. They're at home. They're a better football team than the Raiders. However, if the Raiders can force turnovers, if the Raiders can just make Joe Burrow feel uncomfortable, that's when it's going to be a little bit different. So let me know, LV for the Raiders or CIN for the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, we went through the AFC playoff picture, and as I stated a little bit earlier on today's show, Harrison Graham, he broke down the NFC playoff picture, and these games were just absolutely wild. The 49ers came back from 17 down. They won their game up against the Rams. The Eagles, they're in their playoff spot. You got the Bucs against the Eagles Sunday, 1 o'clock. Cowboys versus the 49ers Sunday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And then Rams versus Cardinals Monday at 8:15. And then shout out to the Packers, who, even though they lost today against the Lions, I think if they would have played their starting team, we know who would have won that game. Now, I also think it speaks volumes to Jordan Love, and that's going to be a whole more other discussions in the offseason. But the Packers, 1 seed, they get the bye. What about the Eagles going up against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? You got the Philadelphia Eagles who, even though they got blown out, they rested Jalen Hurts. They knew they were in the playoffs. And you got Tampa Bay who, they've been losing tons, and I mean tons of wide receiver talent. How is Tom Brady going to have their team ready to go? Are they going to be able to defend their Super Bowl title? If you want to bet, you know where to go. Chatsports.com/bet. Promo code NFL Daily. This is going to be the game I'm going to be tuning into. This is a big-time game for Chat Sports. You got Chase Sr., host of the 49ers Report, up against Tom Downey, host of the Cowboys Report. I'll tell you what, the 49ers, they run the ball effectively. The Cowboys, at times, they've struggled stopping the run. This game, again, January 16th, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And then Monday Night Football, division rivals, NFC West, Arizona Cardinals on the road up against Matthew Stafford and the Los Angeles Chargers. So all I want you guys to do, if you made it this far in the video, obviously give me your predictions on every single game. That's what we love here about Chat Sports. But what I want you to do is get your Super Bowl predictions in right now. Who's going to be in the NFC? Who's going to be in the AFC? Very, very tough decisions. When I first started off this season, I said the ultimate playoff, ultimate Super Bowl that I wanted, if the Raiders couldn't make it, and most realistic, was Bills up against the Cardinals. Now, that's not what I'm going to put my money in where my mouth is. That's not what I'm going to do. But if you made it this far in the video, please get your Super Bowl predictions in right now. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you turn on those notifications. Make sure you join us tomorrow live when Tom Downey's going to be breaking down a whole bunch of stuff on NFL Daily. Hit that big red button that says subscribe, youtube.com/ChatSportsTV.